Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning into the stream. I'm your host, Dollar Bilsko, and I wanted to address some things that I have been noticing since I've been back home in Chicago. I've been away in Nashville for the last 28 years, in March of 97, and I just moved back home in October of 2025. Excuse me. And one thing about Chicago, it is a beautiful city. There's plenty of opportunity here. Uh, The scenery is awesome. We're right off Lake Michigan, so that adds to the aesthetic to the city. Plenty of food. You won't ever run out of food options. But one of the things I really love about the city is the fact that you can connect from any bus to any train and from any train to any bus anywhere within the city and the surrounding suburbs. That's one of the things I love the most. You can get anywhere in the city of Chicago and don't have to necessarily drive all the time. Whereas in Nashville, I had to do a lot of driving because the public transportation system doesn't quite connect the way it does up here. You don't have to drive to the main terminal. I'm gonna ride to the main terminal and change buses. You can always connect here in the city. But one thing I'm hating about this, uh, what's going on up here, is the fact that you have all these YNs, dumb Negroes, ruining the city with all of this nonsense. You got a lot of drug selling activity downtown Chicago. All right. You got young black men riding the CTA train lines, robbing people, hurting people, shooting, stabbing. There's even been a case like in New York where a woman was set on fire there. Someone was set on fire on the train lines here. So now it's just a whole bunch of bullshit that's unnecessary. All right. And it's ruining the it's just ruining everything. I paid to ride, not just to ride the train, but I also pay when I ride the train, I pay to ride in peace. I don't want to be bothered with any of the street nonsense that's now happening on the train. All right. You literally have black men going from car to car on the train selling weed. Got that loud, got that real za. And on top of that, they're selling loose cigarettes and whatever else they could try to sell to you. All right. And this is to me, it's just some of the dumbest shit ever. There's a recording that plays on the train from time to time that says, "Attention all passengers. There will be no soliciting or gambling on the train line." And guess what? That don't mean nothing to them. I've seen guys shooting dice, again, selling weed, smoking weed. You're not supposed to be playing any loud music, but they had their Bluetooth speakers connected to their phones, and now they're blasting all this dumbass ratchet rap music on the train platform. No one wants to hear that shit. So yes, I'm pretty much at this point pissed the hell off because I don't pay for that. I pay to ride in peace. I pay to ride where I can enjoy the scenery while I'm on the line. I can look out the window and see the cars on the highway when I'm on the damn ride. See the skyline when I'm on the damn ride. But now I have to be vigilant and always keeping my eyes on these damn people on the train line. And a lot of crime has been happening here. So I'm going to share a string of news clips that I've compiled to give you an idea of what's been going on. I'm going to play this video and I'll be right back.
And right now, Chicago police are searching for the person who stabbed two people on a CTA platform overnight. They were found near the 69th Street Red Line stop.
Both of those victims have been taken to University of Chicago Medical Center to be treated, and that's where our Asal Razai is joining us live now. Asal, what do we know about their conditions and just the circumstances around these stabbings?
Yeah, Audrey, we know the two victims, a man and a woman, were both stabbed and here in fair condition at last check. Police say they were stabbed after they got into an argument with somebody on that CTA platform. Take a look at this video we have from the scene overnight. You'll see police detectives both on the platform and getting onto one of those train cars at 69th Street. This happened just before 11 o'clock last night. Chicago police say a 37-year-old woman was stabbed in her chest and a 24-year-old man was stabbed in the back. They were both brought here to the emergency room where they're recovering from their injuries. Chicago police say so far they don't have anyone in custody this morning. We know ongoing crimes on the CTA have caught the attention of the federal government. They ordered the CTA to come up with a stronger safety plan or risk losing as much as $50 million in federal funding. The CTA has a deadline of about mid-March to respond. We're live at the University of Chicago Medical Center. Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
Asal, thank you. Welcome to our viewers on TV and on our digital streaming network, CBS News Chicago. Tonight, word of yet another attack on the CTA's Red Line. This time, some hard-to-watch video shows an elderly passenger getting robbed and hit with a wine bottle. CBS 2's Sade Gray is live at the 95th Street Red Line station near where it happened. Sade, did anyone try to step in and help the victim?
Well, Dana, we talked to Tayshawn Terry, who recorded the video. She turned down an interview for fear of retaliation, but we asked her that exact question. Why did everyone stand and watch and no one stepped in? She said she was in shock and fearful she would be assaulted as well. That's Tayshawn Terry, openly shocked at what she was witnessing on the Red Line early Sunday morning. Terry says she took this video near the 95th Red Line station. In it, you see two suspects reach into the elderly victim's pockets. One of them pulls a full wine bottle out of the victim's jacket and hits him over the head with it. We've stopped the video before he was hit. Oh my God! The CTA responded with this statement. This kind of behavior is absolutely reprehensible and should not happen at any CTA customer. CTA began working very closely with CPD immediately after this incident was reported, including sharing relevant video from our security camera system. Chicago police responded with a similar statement. This behavior will not be tolerated in our city or our public transit system. We are working closely with the CTA on this investigation to identify relevant surveillance footage of the incident and to apprehend the offenders. And late in the afternoon, they issued a community alert. The first K-9 CTA unit were deployed on the Red Line, specifically the 95th station, earlier this month. The CTA signed a new contract with Action K-9 to provide up to 100 unarmed guards and 50 K-9s per day, including supervision and supporting equipment across CTA rails for 18 months. The total cost for the team comes in just under $31 million. Terry says she didn't see any officers, K-9s, or even workers Sunday morning. Terry told us that after she was done recording, immediately she called police and filed a police report. Reporting live at 95th Red Line Station, Sade Gray, CBS 2 News.
Hopefully other witnesses will come forward. Thank you, Sade.
Now to a story that started with a report of people attacked on the Red Line over the weekend. While digging into that story, we found some disturbing numbers about crime on the CTA, particularly in July. Take a look. We found increases in crime 61% month over month from June to July. CBS 2's Suzanne Lamignot takes a look at the spike in numbers and asks what's being done.
We looked at violent crime data from the Chicago data portal for CTA property for the past 18 years. In each year, there has usually been an average increase of 16% in violent crime from June to July. This year, violent crimes increased by more than 60% between those 2 months. Ryan Garcia is one of the violent crime victims.
When I try to open my mouth even a little bit, like higher, it starts to hurt like right about here, because that's where the bruise is.
The 16-year-old says he was on the pink line in July when he was attacked and robbed.
And took my phone and then hit me.
The high school student says 3 men beat him and also slashed his ear.
They just kind of like pushed me. And I don't remember like in what order, but they just kind of, I guess, did all this. And then one of them, or sorry, rather 3 of them, got onto the track stand and then just grabbed my phone and started to run off.
The rise in crime comes at the same time the CTA continues to add cameras on platforms. Right now, they have 32,500 cameras. But with nearly 400 crimes all year, they have released surveillance images of only 15 suspects in police community alerts.
Now, to be fair, we don't know how many violent crimes have been captured on CTA surveillance. We asked the CTA what's behind this rise in crime. They wouldn't do an interview on camera, but told me in an email crime trends need to be addressed by Chicago police who patrol the CTA. Police told us they've added 40 additional officers to patrol during the summer months. And those are numbers that we're going to be taking a much closer look at. Live in the newsroom, Suzanne Lemonnier, CBS 2 News.
Just 40 additional officers? Did you hear what she just said? They just added only 40 additional officers. That's not enough to even cover one train line. All right. And as you can see, this is just a compilation of video clips from current and past years. Let's go.
Yeah, Ravi, Cheryl, people have been mostly going about their day here, unaware of what happened at the L tracks earlier this morning, that shooting that took place. Still, scrutiny surrounding passenger safety on the CTA continues to grow after one man is shot dead and another is wounded. CTA trains in the loop appeared normally hours after an early morning shooting on the Pink Line that left a man dead and another injured.
I take it frequently, and the later you get in the day, the worse it gets in terms of safety.
According to Chicago police, just before 1:30 this morning, the two victims were arguing with another man who was armed with a knife. Police say the fight turned physical and one of the victims pulled out a gun. At some point, the offender took the victim's gun and fired shots, killing a 44-year-old man who's since been identified by the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office as Raymond S. Harrison Jr. The 23-year-old man was shot in the wrist.
I feel like sometimes in our world it's all getting a little too crazy.
In the wake of recent incidents on the CTA, the federal government threatened to pull federal funding to the tune of $50 million if the CTA didn't take aggressive action to protect riders. The Federal Transit Administration rejected the CTA's new security surge plan hours after it went into effect last Friday. The plan includes more police and private canine security guards.
Our approach has been pretty straightforward, that working with Springfield to get the necessary resources added to our public transportation system so that we can continue to grow the full force of government approach. Policing, preventative service, mental health support services.
And though there have been several high-profile violent incidents on CTA trains in recent weeks, according to Chicago police data analyzed by the ABC7 data team, violent crime on CTA buses, trains, platforms, and stations is down 2.3% year-to-date through mid-December. However, shootings are up year over year, from 8 shootings last year to 12 this year, not including this most recent shooting on the Pink Line.
It definitely is troubling. Security should be a top priority on the CTA because people should feel safe when taking it.
Chicago police say the offender in this most recent shooting here at Washington and Wells fled in an unknown direction after the shooting. At this point, Chicago police say they have no one in custody and the investigation remains ongoing.
Following another violent incident on the CTA, Alderman Jim Gardner says he's working to find a solution.
It comes 24 hours after someone reportedly stabbed a man and woman on the CTA Red Line at 69th Street. Brett Bragansky shows you why the alderman believes it's going to take multiple agencies to improve public safety.
2 incidents on the CTA within 48 hours. Sunday night, a reported armed robbery on the south side at the Kedzie Blue Line stop. Chicago police released surveillance pictures of the suspects.
Yeah, I think it just showcases cause for concern.
Monday night, someone stabbed a man and woman on the Red Line at 69th Street.
My goal to bring attention to the safety or lack thereof on the CTA is just because I love this city. I'm born and raised here.
Alderman Jim Gardner from the 45th Ward told me the recent violent crime has made some of his constituents feel uneasy. And we heard similar concerns from riders Tuesday.
I mean, I definitely think about these things like before I get on, but I still do it.
Stuff that freaks me out, like there's some stuff that scares me, but at the same time, I'm not getting rid of my day pass. You know, I need to get around.
You ride the CTA every single day. What's been kind of your overall daily, what you've been observing?
To be blunt, you know, sometimes it's not pretty. It can be, even if you're minding your own business.
2.5 weeks ago, more Chicago police officers and private security canines started patrolling the CTA in response to the violent crime and the potential risk of losing federal money.
Just after the city of Chicago and the CTA unveiled a new safety plan, Federal Transportation Administrator Mark Molinaro once again threatened to withhold $50 million from the CTA if city officials don't come up with a new plan. Now, during that time, Alderman Jim Gardner told me the acting president of the CTA has reached out to him for a meeting where the topic is all about improving public safety.
My goal is simply, I want to enhance the safety features of public transportation.
Gardner's solution is the city, Cook County, and the state working together to address public safety concerns.
Then I'd like to see the city get involved. I would also like to see our city, our elected officials, have a better relationship on the federal level. So if we did have to seek more funds, which we are trying to get, that we can do so.
Some riders are doing what they can to be more self-aware on the CTA.
But I'm paying attention to what's going on around me, and if I feel uncomfortable or unsafe, like that I've just gotten off at not my stop.
In Jefferson Park, Brett Bagansky, Fox Chicago.
New at 5, Chicago police need your help identifying the people responsible for a robbery on the Red Line. Take a look. The robbery happened August 13th. Police say the people in these images approached the victim while he was on a train, beat him, and took his property. Happened near the State and Lake Station. If you recognize the suspects, you're urged to call Chicago police.
Jumped and robbed by a group of teenagers while riding the CTA Red Line. That is what 28-year-old Dratana Davis says happened to her Sunday evening as she tried to make her way home from work. Davis is 4 weeks pregnant.
The train is my transportation. I'm scared to get on the train. I don't feel protected.
It was after 6:30. Davis says she and a friend noticed a group of teenagers as they got onto the Red Line at Chicago. They thought nothing of it until one of them tried making small talk.
We laughed it off, and one of the girls was like, "Oh, you over here talking to these bees, and we talking about robbing them, and you flirting with them in front of us."
By the time the train arrived at Roosevelt, things had escalated. The teenagers blocked Davis and her friend as they tried to get away, knocking her down, kicking her.
The whole time I'm thinking on the ground, at this point, I'm praying because I'm like, I have a and an unborn child. At this time, anything.
The violent encounter came just hours before two men, including a 61-year-old and a 21-year-old who was trying to help, were beaten and robbed by a group of teenagers on the Red Line at State Street. It is not clear whether the incidents are related, but Chicago police are stepping up patrols near CTA Red Line stops across the city. More than 1,300 crimes were reported on the Red Line during 2019. That is a 12% increase over last year.
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.
Judy Lawrence Reed has at least 14 criminal cases in Cook County going back to 2017. Which are battery charges. Records appear to indicate that he may be homeless and suffering from a mental illness of some sort, something that was clear to see for anyone inside yesterday's initial court hearing. The question we asked today is, what does this mean for his case going forward? Speaking after yesterday's court hearing, federal investigators were unequivocal when it came to their description of the man they say set a 26-year-old woman on fire on the CTA's Blue Line Monday night.
Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets given his violent criminal history and his pending criminal cases.
A record search of Reed led to this, a long list of mugshots associated to crimes ranging from driving on a suspended license to battery. In 2020, he was sentenced to a 24-month mental health probation after setting this fire outside the Thompson Center. And just a few months ago, in August, he was placed on electronic monitoring after he allegedly struck a social worker while being held in the McNeil Psychiatric Hospital in Berwyn.
It's not punishment that's going to change the behavior.
Professor of Criminology David Olson explaining why Reed freed rather than held pending his trial, as had been sought by prosecutors in that case.
It could have been the determination that, given his circumstances, being incarcerated versus continuing in whatever treatment programs they had would have been beneficial.
In court yesterday, Reed's erratic behavior included yelling several times, "I plead guilty," while also insisting he would represent himself, raising the question whether his competence could make it hard to secure a conviction.
I'm not aware of him ever being declared mentally incompetent in connection with any of the other extensive criminal history.
ABC 7 analyst Gil Sofer saying there's a very high bar to declare someone mentally unfit. The charge against him, however, one of committing an act of terrorism on a mass transportation system, is very straightforward.
The government has to show that he committed an act intending to cause bodily harm or death, and that he did so on a vehicle of mass transit.
It's a charge that's never been applied in Chicago before, but one that carries with it the possibility of a life sentence.
It's almost certainly the heaviest charge the government could have brought, and it's not a reach for them. So long as he had the mental capacity to do what he's charged with doing, the government could prove these elements of the crime.
Now, Reed is expected to be in court again tomorrow morning when a judge will decide whether to keep him incarcerated pending his trial. He has been ordered to undergo both a physical and mental evaluation ahead of that hearing. Rob?
Well, as you mentioned, there is certainly increased scrutiny regarding passenger safety on the CTA, as well as mounting pressure from the federal government to make changes on the part of the CTA or face potential federal funding cuts. This most recent shooting on the CTA's Pink Line train suggests there's work to be done.
We're just going last-minute Christmas shopping.
People riding the L downtown 2 days before Christmas, mostly unaware of another violent incident on a CTA train just hours earlier.
It definitely is troubling. I think security should be a top priority on the CTA because people should feel safe when taking it.
And yet a 44-year-old man is dead and a 23-year-old man injured after they were shot by an unknown suspect on a Pink Line train near Washington and Wells. According to CPD, just before 1:30 this morning, the two victims were arguing with another man who was armed with a knife. Police say the fight turned physical and one of the victims pulled out a gun. At some point, the offender took the victim's gun and fired shots, killing one of the men and injuring another. Today, Mayor Brandon Johnson addressing safety on the CTA.
What works has to be properly funded, right? Our approach has been pretty straightforward, that working with Springfield to get the necessary resources added to our public transportation system so that we can continue to grow the full force of government approach.
The federal government, meanwhile, pressuring the CTA to take aggressive action to protect riders or lose up to $50 million in federal funding. Last week, the Federal Transit Administration rejected the CTA's new security surge plan hours after it went into effect. The plan includes more police and private canine security guards. And though there have been several high-profile violent incidents on CTA trains in recent weeks, according to Chicago police data analyzed by the ABC 7 data team, violent crime on CTA buses, trains, platforms, and stations is down 2.3% year-to-date through mid-December. However, shootings are up year over year, from 8 shootings last year to 12 this year, not including this most recent shooting on the Pink Line.
I think mine is very safe, the brown line. I take that every day, and I've never had an issue there.
You always try to be aware when you travel in a big city.
Chicago police say the offender in this most recent shooting here at Washington and Wells took off in an unknown direction after the shooting. At this point, no one is in custody, according to Chicago police, and the investigation remains ongoing.
March to respond.
Hold on, I want to bring that end back up. Give me 1 second. All right, this is what I wanted you all to take a look at. This is biblical. Proverbs 23, verses 13 through 14. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with the rod, he will not die. If you strike him with the rod, you will save his soul from Sheol. Sheol means hell, meaning you have to discipline these children, all right, to get them in a situation where they understand they can't be not only just disrespecting your parents, but also disrespecting other people. All right, but here's the one I really wanted to point out. Isaiah 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. What that mean? You can't get around the block without seeing brothers thugging out on the damn corner all day long. All right, as a wild bull in the net, They are full of fury of the Lord, meaning they just got so much rage in them. All right. Wherever that rage is coming from, which is one thing we need to try to understand. Where's all this rage coming from? Is it because they're living in a single parent home? They don't know their fathers. There's no opportunities in the city. The police is always harassing the brothers. I don't know. But this last one is, and they rebuke thy God. They're living every day like they have no fear of God. They live every day like they have no fear of the Lord. And just look at that. Look at the middle shot. 3 Chicago YNs you have to listen to. And they even spelled 2 wrong. Oh my goodness. Why would I want to listen to them? They're not saying anything to help our people. What they're saying is how much weed they've been smoking, how many drugs they're moving, how many women they done slept with, and how many Negroes they done, how many, niggers they done shot in their music. And it's funny how the music industry perpetuates this nonsense. All right. You can't say Jew. You can't say anything against any other nation, but they clearly let you say nigga, 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 all in your songs. Excuse my language. I hate using that word, but I'm just using it for context right now. Look at that. Look at this, the way our young brothers are dressing now. And they got the nerve to feel like they being harassed, the stereotype. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. You have no respect for yourself and others in your community. Chicago is a big city. Yeah, it has a lot of issues it needs to be dealt with, but a lot of those issues are coming from our communities. And we need to stop this shit. I am sick and tired of seeing young brothers walking around here all day with nothing to do, nowhere else to go, just hanging around, smoking weed, doing dumb shit, and thinking that's life. Young brothers walking around here in packs, wandering aimlessly through life with nothing to do and nowhere to go. Yeah, I know the city needs to create more programs and recreational centers for brothers to go and use their energy towards other positive things. But until then, you shouldn't have to wait on the white man to do a damn thing for you. You should be able to find something to do, find something to better your community. I look around in the streets of Chicago on this end where I'm at, and it's trash everywhere. People just walking around like they don't care. There's no courtesy here. People driving reckless up here. There's no consideration for the next black man or black woman. And this is the type of shit that I'm sick of. I love my people, but I hate the stupid shit that we're doing to each other. You had here recently when Trump released the National Guard up here. Now all of a sudden the young Negroes, the YNs, are off the street. They gone. They hiding. Where's your ass at now? Where's your energy? Well, you know what I'm saying? Your energy for that shit. Why you get all the smoke for me? Not me in particular, but why you get all the smoke for your own people? This is the stuff I'm fucking tired of. Excuse my rant, but I'm just pissed off because I didn't come back up here to ride the CTA train to be harassed. I also pay for safety as well. My tax dollars is what keep this train system going. And I pay for peace. I pay for protection. I pay for safety. And that is what I expect. I shouldn't have to come downstairs on a platform and now it's 2-3 young Negroes all playing their music. So now you got all these speakers clashing, just loud noise. The smell of weed is all everywhere. You're walking around circling people, looking all suspect and shit. Sit your ass down and go find something fucking to do. Excuse me. I'm just so pissed off. So again, these are the things I've been dealing with since I've been back, but it's not going to stop me from loving my city. We just all have to get together and find some ways to combat all of this madness. If you like what you see and you like what you hear, please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to the show. I'm your guy, Dollar Bill Score, and I will see you next go round. Peace.